in education. A lot of courses you can now take from the internet, and if you take your courses here in this room, I'm still pointing you to the internet. And you have to upload your work, you have to email your work to me. We are no longer just being in the class and exchanging sheets of paper, right? Well, look like eBay or Wikipedia, and there will be Italian variants of this maybe. Is there an Italian variant of eBay? No. In the Netherlands we have one that's called Marktplaats. Marktplaats in Dutch, but it means marketplace. Which is eBay in Dutch. Like we have our own Dutch version of Facebook. Funny, hide. So no electronic marketplace in Italy so far? Amazing. So this is a possibility for you to invent it, I guess. In the Netherlands, if my neighbors, they moved house, so they wanted to sell part of their furniture and pots and things, and they put it all on marketplace and they sold it quickly. And it's even, they liked it, because this is the funny thing sometimes of electronic services, because now they met people. People came to their house to take the furniture and they talked and they said, we met so nice people. So electronic services sometimes actually mean that you meet people. So could be a good thing as well. Right? So Wikipedia, I think you are all aware of that, and there will be an Italian version of that. And you still have to go to the English version if you want to know more. Like it doesn't make sense for me to go to the Dutch Wikipedia, because there's not too much, and if it's there, it's just a clumsy translation from the British one, or from the English one. So, yeah, value of services, once again. I think we spoke about educational services, health services. What? Who will benefit from health services? Who are the customers of health services? Tell me. So, who will benefit from health services? Patients, people who don't feel well, or people who are not sure they are healthy, family of people who don't feel well, parents of children, medical doctors, yeah. Apothecaries, is it apothecaries? Pharmacies? Pharmacies, yeah. Okay, who else? Companies. My university wants all of us to be healthy, and if we are ill, they point us to health services. Actually, I'm obliged to call a doctor if I'm ill for more than 5 days. If I'm ill for 1 day, I can just call the office and say I'm ill, I will not be in today. After a week, there will be some administrative thing starting, and I have to see a doctor. This is what my employer wants, because they want me to work. And they actually want me to be healthy. So they also provide, my university provides even sports facilities for the employers to make me feel healthy. Right? So there's lots of different people who benefit from health services. People and institutes, companies, universities. Okay. Well, the same is here, right? eBay, the Wikipedia, I just told you. And it's interesting to know that there's also problems, by the way. So, there's a problem about health services because, well, since it's possible on the internet to find so much about diagnosis, right? Actually, if I don't feel well and I go to my physician, my doctor, I already have been to the internet and have searched and have found out what could be my problem and found out what could be the right medicine. So I might go to my doctor and say, doctor, I think I have this type of flu, and please prescribe me this medicine. So then the question is, would the doctor like this? Maybe, maybe not. I think a good modern doctor would say, this is very good, and let's go together and let's have a look. Because you came with one diagnosis, actually there might be another one, let's compare. Let's compare the effects of the medicine you are asking and the effect of some other medicine that I've got. Right? So a good doctor would presume that people will do this and would work with that. But it changes the way doctors behave. If I can find information on the internet, it changes the way my pharmacy should behave, because I go to my pharmacy and ask for certain things. And they might say, I'm not selling this, I sell you another one, but they better are aware of the fact that I get this information. By the way, no, we cannot go. Too bad. Okay, so, and sometimes people are not so happy with things. So for instance, like eBay, they are selling stuff and where there are shops that would like to buy and sell. And in the past, when I would like to get rid of my old furniture, I would go to a shop that sells second-hand furniture. I would sell it to the shopkeeper, and he would sell it again. And now, at least in the Netherlands, nobody does this anymore. We go to the Dutch variant of eBay, which is marketplace, and people sell their things to the internet, and the second-hand furniture shop has no clients anymore, or has no goods to sell. Right? So it's a service, but the service makes people buying and selling obsolete. There's no business for them. So you should keep that in mind. And the same is for Wikipedia. What would be the problem with Wikipedia?
Everybody can write something, but it's not true. It can be
okay. It could be true, could be not true. And this is the difference from, let me say, scientific publications in the past. Like in the past, if I wanted to know a certain scientific concept, so like what's the definition of service design, I would go to the journal, and everything published in the journal is peer-reviewed, and the book published by a publisher is reviewed before it's going to press. And in Wikipedia, anybody can put anything. And actually there are people changing it and trying to repair that, but you are never sure. So sometimes I'm not so happy if my students cite Wikipedia in their thesis, right? Is this a good citation? We don't know. It's a problem. Yeah? Okay. So, well, we should understand that services are not always non-physical. Services can have a physical part. Normally in traffic, in Italy as well as in the Netherlands, if the police stops your car and say, can I see your driver's license, they want you to produce this card. Right? Maybe, by the way, 5 years from now, you can just open your iPod and show, or maybe the driver's license is already in the internet, and just your identification would be enough. But then your identification would still be a physical thing, like a passport, or in the near future maybe the whole ID might be on the internet already, or available for the police officers. And then we would like it because we would complain about privacy, right? If all my personal information, including my picture, would already be in the database of the police force, maybe you won't like it. So we always have physical things related, and we could get rid of the physical things, and maybe we would like something. Right? But many people, for instance, tell us that money will disappear. Money in the sense of paper and coins might disappear very soon. In the past, you wouldn't use a credit card or a PIN card for, let me say, paying a cup of coffee. In the US and nowadays also in the Netherlands, you can just buy a single cup of coffee and pay with your credit card. Starbucks prefers to accept credit cards for €1.50. Right? So, some people say very soon all the money transport will be non-physical. So, but the interesting thing is still that the service is something that is provided, that is created the moment you use it. Going with the bus from Sassari to Alghero, the service is provided while the bus driver is driving. Right? So services are different from goods. If I buy this one, I can put it in my pocket, I can take it home, it's mine. But with the service, when I buy a service, the service is given to me the moment I use it. And when I stop using it, the service is gone. Right? If you step out of the bus in Alghero, it's no longer your bus ride. You paid for it, you got it, it's gone. Okay? So. We talked about the driver's license. Well, the problem the challenge with service design is that if I design a physical product, I can design it exactly, I can work on it, I can say, I change the color, I put something on the back, now it's finished, it's completely ready, and now I can sell it. It's done. With the service, I can never say that. If you buy a ticket for the bus from Sassari to Alghero, you enter the bus, and now the service is being provided. Now, if there's a problem on the road, this was not part of the design, but it still can happen. A car can break down, a car can bump into another car, and now the service provider has a problem during the service. You cannot say, I first design and provide the whole service and then you are using it. So things can change or things can be different. It's different when you enter a bus and all your friends are in the same bus, than when you enter the bus and there's nobody in the bus or only people you don't know. So it makes a difference, and the service only is implemented the moment you are using it, right? So this means you cannot design it completely. You can design as much as possible, and then it depends on the actual circumstances, on the context, right? So designing the service for a restaurant still depends on the actual situation. Who is in the restaurant, what is available, how good was the work the chef did, and so on. And you can never completely predict. Okay? And that means that you can suggest, we call this a script. So, for instance, I can instruct the people in the bus company how to handle driving the bus in case of an emergency. I can instruct the waiters in the restaurant how to handle if a customer asks something that's not available. So this means a script. I cannot prevent things from happening, but I can try to think about it and instruct people to handle as good as possible in order to reach the experience that we try to reach. And the better the script is, the more freedom there is actually for the people in the service. If you have a better script, a more elaborate script, thought about more different things, there are more things that people can do. Like people can change their mind. People can ask for an extra glass of wine in the restaurant, or a second cup of coffee, right? So, or people can say, "Oh, I forgot my money. Can I come back and pay tomorrow?" Right? So, depending on your script, you can allow more freedom.